Success Radio USA's Profiles of Success is brought to you in part by the 365 Grand Club, Colorado Springs' only elite urban downtown club. Don't like having to park downtown? Don't like paying full price for great dining? Hate working out in crowded gyms? Use your 365 Grand Club card and forget all of that. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Go there today and join the club, the 365 Grand Club. And now let's join your hosts of Profiles of Success, Chuck Bader and Jerry Evans.
Welcome to Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader. Your other host, Jerry Evans, is in Florida, enjoying some much-deserved time off, kind of hanging out, getting some sun, getting a sunburn, maybe a suntan, hopefully. But we're glad you're here. He's feeding the gators, having a great time. But we want to thank you for joining us here on Profiles of Success. You can find us by going to our Facebook page, and you type in the search bar, Success Radio USA, and you'll see the logo with the American flag. That's us. Or go directly to our website at successradio.us, not .com, not .net, not .whatever, successradio.us. We would like to invite you to register with us here for free, and you'll get a free ebook download as our gift to you for registering. Now, if you become a member, since you're a person who takes success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only a few dollars per month, which is $3.99 per month. Less than a cup of coffee, less than $1 a week. You have access to our archives, our programs, and all the information you need to power you through the hard times, the obstacles, and to get you over to the other side of the successful lifestyle. You can hear these shows on demand 24/7 and listen to our Success Library of ebooks as well, which are free to our members. Now, we have an amazing guest on this week. We have Eric Owings, who is a CPA, and he's got quite a story for us here. So, Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So people kind of like to hear about, here's a guy, instead of working for somebody, who's got his own show, setting his own hours, living his own lifestyle, and let's go all the way back to the beginning. So where were you born? What year were you born? And what did your parents do for a living?
Well, I was born in 1959. I thought about this, and I decided it was okay to tell you.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of funny because that is my age at this point. So the last two digits of the year.
That works.
That only happens once in your lifetime. So
exactly. Yeah.
I was born in Boulder because my folks met at CU.
Okay.
And I'm their first kid. But my dad's profession, he was a design engineer.
Okay.
Actually, with the Department of Water Power in Los Angeles.
Nice.
I went to school for electrical engineering. He was in graduate school, and my mom was an undergrad. And she blamed me for not finishing college my entire childhood.
Oh, boy, that's hard to deal with.
Because, well, that's what women did back then, is you start a family, you dropped out. So,
right.
You know, everybody's got to work these days to make ends meet. But
yeah, two-income mandatory.
59 years ago, not so much, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, into the 50s, I can always say that.
Exactly.
So I was raised in the southern part of L.A.
Okay.
Westchester is a suburb which isn't known for much except it's where LAX is, the international airport.
Okay.
Excuse me. And it's a little bit south of Venice.
Okay.
Marina Del Rey area. So
nice.
I grew up out there.
Excellent. So is that like a good neighborhood or a rough neighborhood in LA? You never know. I'm not that familiar with them.
I would say by people's typical standards, call it a good neighborhood.
Okay. So you didn't have some of the issues kids do with bullying or things like that, or you didn't have to worry about walking home from school and being attacked or something?
We were able to walk freely. As a matter of fact, I had to walk a mile to all three of my schools.
Okay.
Elementary, junior high, and high school.
There you go.
And, that was much more, people didn't worry so much about their kids back then because they didn't,
right.
Things are different.
Yeah.
But as far as bullying goes, that still happened. I reached my height early, but I was skinny.
Okay. Oh, really?
And I got picked on, yes.
For your height?
For being tall and thin. Yeah.
Okay.
So
you're good.
Bullying still happened, but it wasn't so much the kind of thing you're thinking about now. It was a big deal if somebody brought a switchblade to school.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
And now,
unfortunately, it's not as big of a deal, unfortunately, It's like.
Right. Well, other things are a much bigger deal and outside the scope of what I want to talk about today.
But you're kind of in good company. If you didn't know, Tony Robbins had the same problem. I think in his 11th grade year, he grew up like about a foot in 1 year, and he was bullied for being too tall and too skinny.
Yeah, I just started listening to Tony, and right. I think I learned that myself recently. So
right.
Yeah.
And I think he also grew up in Venice at one point. So you're kind of like you got this good heritage here you didn't know about.
I did not know that.
Exactly.
I'm a big admirer, so.
Yeah, the guy's, I mean, he's doing great.
There's definitely worse people to emulate, for sure.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, just the past years, he's really got things organized. I mean, he's always been organized, but just really taking it over the top now, you know?
Well, in fact, I drive up to Montana every year to see my granddaughter.
Okay.
And it's kind of an annual thing. It's always in July because I run in a race up there with her mom, my older daughter. And I have taken to the last 3 years killing the time with audiobooks. And I actually listened to Tony's Money Master the Game.
Okay, that's excellent.
Last year. And it's a very good book. I recommend to anybody.
And you're a CPA endorsing this book.
I am, in fact, going to, full disclosure at this point, I do not have the CPA certification.
Okay. But an accountant.
I am an accountant.
Right.
It's my educational focus. I have a bachelor's degree in business management with accounting.
Okay.
CPA requires more credits and a great big long test.
Right.
Neither of which I've done, but I am still a qualified accountant.
Right.
So just full disclosure out there, everybody.
But here you are endorsing Tony Robbins' book, which, a lot of people are wondering if it's a good book. I've read it. It's just amazing.
Well, yeah, him and there are a host of other people that are just very good to, they've kind of paved the way as far as having the courage to go into entrepreneurial endeavors,
right?
Which is something it took me most of my life to build up that courage to do. So that's probably something you're going to ask me about later.
I'm going to ask you about that now. I mean, that's perfect timing. So all of a sudden, how many years ago did you start listening to audiobooks? Self-development, I assume.
Well, really, that's a fairly recent thing. I guess you asked me about where I grew up, and
right.
Growing up in LA as I did, there was a lot of good music out there, and it seemed like the guys that played guitar in school ended up with the prettier girls. So, and I got interested in it because my dad had a guitar at home, so I took it up at 14.
Nice.
And I've been playing. I got in the first band I was good enough to play in when I was 18, and I've been doing that pretty much ever since.
Still to this day.
So it is, yes. Wow. In fact, I'm in 2 bands now, but
fantastic.
Got to have that balance. I got wife, work, life.
Yes.
And life includes music. So
right.
I'm doing it, but I'm not, over the top crazy about it.
Right.
Because you do have to, I think one of the biggest things is learning how to manage time. And I'm still working on that. I think we all do, but
oh yeah,
I need to consciously work on it at all times.
Yep.
Certainly. But back to the music thing, I basically had this 30-year cycle of 1 year being in a band, getting sick of not making enough money, quitting playing music and going and find a job. Then I get tired of not playing music, quit the job, going, rinse, repeat for like 3 decades.
Right.
And that went on and on for quite some time. I actually went back to school late in life.
Okay.
So.
About what age did you go back?
I can tell you. I was... my father passed away a month before I turned 50.
Oh, sorry.
And one of his, thank you. That was in 2009.
Okay.
So what's that? 9 years ago. And I got the idea that he was always disappointed that I hadn't gone to college.
Really? Wow.
And also another thing that happened in 2009, there was a new administration, and we were starting to come out of the worst recession in many years. And there was not only some tax benefits. The American Opportunity Credit used to be called the Hope Credit the first year.
Okay, yeah.
Here's a tax guy talking.
right, exactly.
But, there was a little bit of free money for people that were going to school,
Nice.
And I went to of course, starting out by going on Google and kind of just doing my searches. And I found that there was scholarships available at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. Here in Colorado Springs. And I think at the time they were looking for x-ray technicians and accountants.
Okay.
And they had $5,000 scholarships. But here's the fun thing, Chuck, is I had to be able to complete an associate's level of education in 12 months.
Wow. And that's only a 2-year program.
Right. So What I did was I went out, sought a program that would allow me to use both CLEP credits and military experience.
Okay.
You actually get credits for going through basic training, learning first aid, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
good.
cool. So, but I managed to, between that and the CLEP program, get 30 of the credits I needed and then take the other 30 in core, and I got it done. So half of my associate's degree was paid for, and I made the decision to go on and finish the rest to get the bachelor's. So I graduated in 2011, right after Christmas.
Wow, nice.
So my degree's still pretty fresh.
Right, exactly. Yeah, 7 years, so not bad.
Right.
But that's amazing creativity, and this is the beauty of this show is so many people who have an obstacle like this. I've got a 2-year program, I have to do in 1 year, can't do it, but you find out how do you do it.
Yeah, well, CLEP is, I'll explain that. It's, I think the acronym is College Level Examination Program.
Okay.
And you basically study real hard, and then you go and you take a 90-minute test, and if you pass it, you get 3 credits.
There you go.
And it's not an easy test, and it shouldn't be, because you're basically substituting 3 semester hours by completing it. But I don't remember what I took at the sophomore level, but I did take some pretty cool CLEP tests. Humanities was one of them. Actually, that was a big one. That was 6 credits.
Okay. That's pretty good. Want to hear more about that when we come back. Right now, our listeners have got a job to do, and we know the routine. If you've heard the show, you know the routine. We got this piece of paper. You got a pen. Anybody can find one of these, and you're going to hear our sponsors in a minute. You're going to hear their name. You're going to hear their phone number. You're going to hear their website, and all you got to do is write it down so that you can contact them when you need their services, because they support our show. We support the Listen Foundation, and most of all, we support you. This is Profiles of Success with your host, Chuck Bader. We'll be right back.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
This week, my name is Harley Mitchell. Next week, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll use your name. You see, I'm a cyber criminal, and I steal information that defines who you are. Things like your driver's license number, your birth date, your home address, your office address, your social security number, your medical information, insurance cards, business licenses, and if I can get it, your birth certificate. If I can get one, I can get the rest. It's not personal, it's just business. Once I have your information, I bundle it with others and I sell it. Not just once, but over and over and over and over and over.
Due to recent massive data breaches, your personal information is now available for cyber criminals like Harley to buy and sell to their underworld counterparts for profit. Bad people with bad intentions hiding behind your identity. Don't be fooled and lock down your financial life. Use the professionals that Fortune 500 companies use, ID Shield and Legal Shield. It costs less and reaches further. Don't lock down your life. Call Andrea Wacker and get the right protection for the right problem. Andrea Wacker is your Lady of Justice. Call now at 719-243-3174. That's 719-243-3174. listening to Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Success Radio USA is committed to helping you achieve a positive daily approach to your success each and every day. Thank you for listening.
Success Radio USA.
Welcome back to Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA. I'm your host, Chuck Bader. Our co-host, Jerry Evans, is chilling in Florida, feeding the gators, having a good time and fun in the sun. But we're going to continue to work here on our show. We've got a great guest today, Eric Owings, and we're going to pick it up again right after the break here where we left off at. But we want to thank you for joining us here on Profiles of Success. Now, you can find us by going to our Facebook page, and in that search thingy, type in Success Radio USA. Or bypass that and go right to our website at successradio.us. We would also like to invite you to register with us there for a free, and you will also get a free ebook download as our gift to you. Now that you are one of those people who take success seriously, you can subscribe and become a monthly subscriber to Success Radio USA for only $3.99 for a whole month of subscriptions. And that's unlimited 24/7 access to all our materials. So make sure that you do that today. Go to successradio.us, not .com. So now back to Eric. We want to bring up something that is one of the frustrations a lot of people feel is they want to do something, they want to try to hit it big, and they'll pursue that, and it doesn't work out. So let's go back and just kind of isolate your music career or attempted a career for a little bit. 30 years off and on, band job, and all of a sudden, in the end, at this point, it may still work out, but at this point, it hasn't worked out. But what did you find pleasurable, or what did you find meaningful about that pursuit? Why did you have to do it year and year again? Why didn't you quit? I guess is the big question.
There is something about music that wow, actually I got to stop
digging deep here.
I want to regroup and think about that for a second. I think music is one of the elemental forces in the universe. I do believe that we started out with a big bang and the universe expands. That kind of works with creation concepts,
right?
So there's really nothing contrary in that for anybody to be offended by it, in my opinion.
Exactly.
And I think music, well, you take it down to the elemental level.
Okay. Yes.
Atoms basically exist by rotating, and everything's in motion at all times. All matter's basically energy condensed.
Right.
And I believe that music is much a part of anybody's existence as breathing or love or any of the other important things that, are part of the human existence.
Exactly.
So I guess that was kind of a deep answer, but basically, you just kind of don't ever completely forget about music, no matter how far you get away from it from time to time, because once you've done it, and you have some aptitude for it, it's as much a part of you as the color of your hair,
right? So.
But as you get older, I like to think, and it took a while, maybe 15 or 20 of those 30 years, you kind of start getting to the point where, I'm really not going to ever make the kind of living I want to make doing this.
Okay.
At least unless something dramatic changes. And it kind of leads me up to how I got into the era of the computer. I think I read someplace that Windows came out in, or DOS computers in '85, or
something like that. Yeah.
For the mainstream usage as consumers, but it took me another 10 years. I was getting divorced at the time, and my dad thought I wasn't going to be eating well enough and be getting depressed and everything. He had separated from my mom back when I was a kid, teenager, and he just had all these unfounded fears that it was going to start going off the rails because of depression or whatever. So he actually bought me a computer, and it was Windows 95 was a new OS at the time. And I had a great big tower, and it had a 1.2 gig, which was twice the industry norm at the time.
Right.
Which sounds like, I mean, my phone's got about 20 times that much now.
Exactly.
But that was my first computer, and I had some, I did well in typing in school and that sort of thing, and had some math aptitude, and really enjoyed. For one thing, I got online and found people through instant messaging type things, and
Right.
so I was able to live up in my little single wide home up in Woodland Park and communicate with people. And I actually got a job selling airline tickets because somebody had posted that they were looking for people in. It was cheaptickets.com.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah.
I think they got bought by Trip, and then the large company that owns Avis, Ascendant Corp, actually bought us after the turn of the century. But I went to work there in 99, and I was actually working the day 9/11 happened. I was on my way to work and started hearing about it on the radio.
Right.
So it's kind of a unforgettable part of my past, was going to work and a call center of 220 people, dead silence. Because there was nothing left the ground until the 15th. So first of all, nothing happened on the phones for several hours, and then we were processing refunds because nobody was flying,
Right.
or people were looking for rental cars.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So I think the greater point there was that I started getting interested in online type endeavors around that time. And then we were talking about my going back to school, what would have been 10 years later.
Right.
By then, there was online education programs available, but also it was kind of becoming apparent to me that there was like a world of information at our fingertips.
Exactly.
And I saw that in a movie a few years later.
Yeah.
Where somebody actually used that phrase. We literally live in what could potentially be the best time of civilization, because we have, the history of planet Earth right under our two hands.
Right.
If we choose to do something with that, rather than posting pictures of ourselves making dinner or whatever.
Okay, now you've launched out to a brand new topic that our listeners love. So what you're talking about here is the choices, right? And this is something that our listeners really need to tune in on, is because every day you're making choices all day long. What choices are making you closer to your goals versus farther away from the goals?
Right.
And you bring up a great point. You can either watch Facebook or you can go online and get the education. That is huge.
Right. Are you familiar with the cartoonist Matthew Inman?
Not that one, no.
A lot of your listeners might be. He also goes by the Oatmeal. And he's a little profane, but he's a really original thinker. And one of his things that he goes into, what was my point there?
We were talking about choices on Facebook versus online education.
He had written a cartoon about people working for themselves from home. And it was pretty on point for me. The first few years I was attempting to do something.
Right.
Before I found myself back in accounting. And I'll get back to that in a second. But you need a certain amount of personal discipline to stay off of Facebook.
Yes.
Or stay out of your email. Or any one of the other wonderful things that you can be doing to improve your mind, but aren't moving the needle in terms of making yourself money. So... And it's something that I've been working on for years, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm getting better at it. I'll tell you one thing that really helps is getting some customers.
Yeah,
nothing will focus you like having a deadline.
Exactly.
For sure.
Where's that stuff at?
Right? Yep.
Well, a good book that we'll highlight about this that I just discovered about a month ago is called The 12-Week Year. And it's an amazing book by Brian Moran, M-O-R-A-N. But it talks about, when you have 12 months to get a goal done, you typically kind of dawdle around. You have excuses. You wait till October before you really get on fire. But if you change that to a 12-week year and you've only got 3 months, then like you talked about, your ability to focus and to hone in and to prioritize your main task becomes dramatically accelerated. And, of course, the results do as well.
Right. And I'm writing his name down here.
Yes, Brian Moran, M-O-R-A-N.
If you're wondering what I'm doing.
And it's The 12-Week Year. Just an amazing book. He has online features with his website, achieve.com. But it's just what you're talking about. It's so easy to make those wrong choices.
Right.
I wonder why it's not happening.
I had listened to another book about the 4-hour work week.
Yes, Tim Ferriss. Wonderful.
Okay, you know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
It was over a year ago. I couldn't remember the author, but well, it's super interesting. And,
Yeah, it's FERRISS, 2 R's, 2 S's. But yeah.
right, like the wheel.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So what did you like about that book? What changed your concept of how you do business?
Well, one thing is that, and a very good point that he makes, and one that I've kind of bemoaned my own fate over time and again, is people using email as a conversational tool, and he's dead set against that. That's not meant for that. You should look at your email twice a day. Right, yes. You know, that's stuck out in my mind. I think you look at it like 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And stay the heck out of it. And I have a lot of difficulty doing that because of customers.
Right,
the kind of business I'm in.
Right.
I do need to know if, for example, a tax customer's got an urgent question. So I break that rule of his.
Right. Well, in your case, it's modified, you know.
Right, sure. And the thing is not get too caught up in responding to what you see right away. It can wait.
Yes.
It can wait.
Yes.
Okay. But I recently also have updated my website, so I have Zendesk, and people can request a chat with me if they need me that badly.
Okay, nice. So you're using good automation tools. That's one thing he talks about. Right. Outsourcing is another option, you know.
Yeah, that's a recent development. I'm really happy with this platform that I'm using right now.
Cool. I want to hear more about that in about 30 seconds. Well, not 30 seconds, but 30 seconds we're going to break. But after we get back. So right now, listeners, you're up. Listeners, you've got a job to do right here. We do it all the time. You should teach me how to do this stuff. Gee, Chuck, how about I grab a piece of paper? Now how about I grab a pen? Hey, Chuck, what do you think if I write down the name, phone number, website of the sponsors, and I'll call them when I need their services? I'd say that's a good idea. And we're going to be right back on Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
It gives clarity to problem solving. It increases production and focus on the job. It alleviates sleepless and restless nights and fends off stress and tension headaches. No, it's not the latest energy drink or health supplement. It's Legal Shield. Get peace of mind every day, every night, now and forever. Legal Shield. Get it.
To find out more about Legal Shield and how it can protect your family and your business, call Andrea at area code 719-243-3174. That's area code 719-243-3174. Legal Shield.
I'm Chuck Bader.
And this is Jerry Evans.
And you're invited to join us on Profiles of Success, where we feature stories of successful businesses and successful individuals.
You can find us on TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, or Stitcher by searching Success Radio USA. Or go to our website at successradio.us.
Our current program is available every day, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. We air new programs on every Monday. These are programs which are designed to guide you along your path of success, to provide you with the information, the inspiration, and the motivation to achieve your goals. Right here on Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA.
This is Megan, Cindy, and Sammy, and we are the Success Radio USA singers. Thank you for listening to Success Radio USA. Success Radio USA.
drugs there.
So that was a thing. Yeah, that can kill a whole sentence.
Welcome back to Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader. Now, we're glad you're joining us today. Your co-host, Jerry Evans, chilling down in Florida, feeding the gators, catching in the sun. But you guys are right here, and we want to thank you for that. Now, where in the world do you find us when you're not listening right now? You tell yourself and your friends to go to our Facebook page, and in the top, you've got a little search bar thingy, and it says Success Radio USA. You'll see a logo with an American flag. That's us. Now, you do that, you like our page, you have access to our programs. Or you can go right to our website at successradio.us, not .com. And we'd like to invite you to register with us there for free. And when you register, you get a free ebook download as our gift to you for doing so. Now that you are one of those people who take success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only $3.99 for a whole month, and that'll give you total access 24/7 on demand to our show archives and all the information like Eric is putting out here to help you get over your hard situations, to help you relate with people who have been in similar situations but pushed through it and kept moving forward. So, Eric, we want to recap a little bit here. You're pursuing the dream of maybe getting into music for 30 years. Music job, 30 years. Then all of a sudden you find out, okay, maybe it's not working out. I've got to pivot and go a different direction. It wasn't the end of the line for you, but a cool thing was you started listening to audiobooks. Now, how did you see your life change after listening to audiobooks?
Well, I think I more found myself seeking information via the internet for reading, and got the idea for listening to audiobooks later on. So I'm sorry to throw you a curveball like that, but but I don't know what the idea for audiobooks came, and I guess I'll share this with you now.
Sure.
But I took up running in 2013. I was talking to my adult daughter on the phone, Christmas Day 2012, because I hadn't heard if they got their package yet. Okay. And she's got my one and only grandchild, so you know, she always gets something neat in a big brown box. So
that was fun.
I called her up, and she was getting into the mimosas a little bit, and she said, I entered the Missoula Half Marathon. And then she takes a pause and says, you should do that. I was like, well, I ran all over Fort Sill when I was in the Army.
There you go.
I think I can figure out how to run 13 miles in the next 7 months. So
exactly,
I started running, and my running kind of turned into a thing where I'm doing it about anywhere from 4 to 5 times a week now.
Nice.
And it's kind of precious time because it's my time alone with my thoughts.
Right. Yes.
And I do some of my best contemplative and formative, even business things, because it's just me and the music I use to keep my feet in rhythm.
Right.
So I started the visits I was making up to my daughter and granddaughter became an annual July event for that run. I've been going every year since 2013, and it's then that I started realizing that hey, I got what's 1,000 miles? I think it's like 15, 16 hours. I've got some time to kill here, and so I started picking up some things like the Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
You can get that one done one way.
Right.
If you just keep listening to it. And I got into a lot of Jack Canfield, who I think is an excellent not only writer but orator.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great reader of his own stuff because he's just got a really easy style to listen to. And Tony Robbins, we were talking about earlier.
Tony, yes, my boy.
Yeah, he's the guy. Money, Master the Game.
Yes.
I got about halfway through it, and I need to finish it.
Yeah, it's a big read. But
It's changing the way I'll do my investments.
Is that right? Yes.
Sincerely, yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk about that for 10 minutes, but I won't.
Right. But for our listeners, Tony interviewed, the richest people in the world to write that book. So This is not just Tony come up with the stuff. It's him being the interviewer for a change.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And
top of stuff
the knowledge is it's unparalleled. Great stuff. Index funds. It's the way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I love it.
Beat the market, be the market.
Right. So, but I in fact belong to a networking leads group. It's kind of a little mini mastermind, but it's a group of people who are all different professions, and we're all basically looking out for each other, helping each other out, and feeding each other warm referrals.
Right.
And it takes me 45 minutes to drive to it, and that's another great audiobook.
Right, yes.
Opportunity. So, and sometimes I'll listen to some songs that I need to learn for rehearsal, but at least half the time I'm improving my mind. So
exactly.
It's all that time is time well spent.
Yes. And it's the simple choices like you talked about, either music or talk radio with no value to it, or audiobooks with value to it. you know?
Right, yeah. Goes back to time management.
Yes.
You
and
know,
small
what are you
choices.
doing? What do you get? I think it's 168 hours a week, and you're asleep for a third of them.
Right.
So what are you going to do with the rest?
Exactly.
You know, I think that's 112, by the way.
Yeah, but in those
Numbers
choices,
guy.
you know? Exactly, yes. Yeah, but in those choices can determine your outcome, you know?
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's the amazing thing. So now the running is huge as well. A lot of people don't really value the importance of physical exercise as far as being effective in business. Tell me how that it makes you more effective by running, by being in better physical shape.
Well, I started getting into that a little bit. I do use that time to do some of my deeper thinking. And I've actually had an idea for a book that's in my future.
Nice.
I've got a number. When I hit that number per month revenue, I've made a resolution with myself to spend an hour a morning writing on the book.
Yes.
But yeah, I've created this character just completely, just like divine inspiration, just during a run.
Right.
I was running up in Florissant fossil beds, and it was a springtime, and the flowers were beautiful, and I just got this idea for this character, just pop.
Character for the storyline of the book.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the protagonist. So.
Okay.
But to answer get back on focus for the question that you asked. Basically, you are not only giving yourself the time to think without outside distraction, but also just being in good physical shape. Your brain is made of tissue also.
Right.
It needs oxygen. It needs moisture. You know, so being in good physical condition is not going to do your business any harm at all.
Exactly.
And a compromise I've made. I was running up to, I think 1 year I was doing about 80 miles a week. I have cut that back considerably.
Okay.
I need to be a little bit more available. I got to share something, though.
Yes.
I think I had 3 tax clients that called me while I was on a run.
Really? While you're running?
While I was running, I use a Bluetooth headphone that I can click a button and answer and actually talk.
Right. And
some of those runs are supposed to be, a easy breathing conversational pace is what they call it.
Yes.
So I just resolved to myself to answer the phone when it rang.
Okay.
And I got a young lady who was going to Charis Bible College, and she's a physical trainer. She goes, "Are you running right now?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I love that you're doing that." And we're like friends now. And
wow.
I did her return like 3 days later, left happy.
Huh.
You know, that's one thing I'm really grateful for is I had a good tax season. I got straight 5-star reviews. So,
wow. That's huge.
Yeah, if you go on Owings Tax and Accounting LLC, you can see for yourself.
And what's a good phone number and email address you can reach out as well?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
My email address, I think simple, eric@owingstaxaccounting.com. So it doesn't have the A-N-D in it.
Okay.
And then the phone number is 719-213-9185.
And one more time because we're writing it down. So
okay. Yeah, if you're searching for your pen.
Exactly, yes.
71
Which you should have for our commercial breaks, guys. Come on.
Yes, that's right. You've given them 2 chances now, Chuck.
I know. How many times you got to tell these folks, right? I'm just kidding.
I'll say it again. 719-213-9185.
Excellent. And if we can, I don't know if we can zoom in, but your name tag is how I remembered your name, the big O with the word wings. And it's like, that's a cool logo. I like that.
Yes. And
yeah, we're radio. So imagine a big letter O and then the word wings beside it. Use your imagination. That's Eric's logo, and I love it.
I'm disconcerted with the filming in the first place. I've got a face made for radio, so
you and me both, man. So hey, you're better off than I am, though. But now the physical exercise too. I mean, think of the body as a car, right? If you're not changing the tires, and you're not changing the spark plugs, and you're putting sugar in the gas tank, it's not going to perform as well.
That's my allegory.
Boom.
You literally picked that out of my head. If you wouldn't put crap in your gas tank, why do you put it into your own body?
Love it, man. Love it.
Why do you do it? And the American diet is probably one of the worst on the planet.
Yeah.
We want to get into that, or
well, not too much.
Maybe leave that up for another show.
Right, but when you're running now, you'll notice too that when you're running, you want to eat better. You want to eat more nutritiously. So that's another side benefit.
Sure.
You know.
Right, and there's a certain way you need to eat before you're going to do what's considered a long run.
Okay.
Which in running circles is like 17 miles or longer. When you train for a marathon, which people ask this, so I'll say, is 26.2 miles. Okay. But when you train for one, you don't run that distance because you have to actually recover from running that far. So your maximum long runs are usually about 20, 21 miles
in
training. But to run that long without needing a bathroom break or otherwise having any physical or digestive discomforts, there's certain things you have to do. So, and I did a lot of trial and error. A lot of that was internet research, and a lot of it was just making mistakes. You know, like getting in good enough shape to actually run that far the first couple of years. Which is now I'm kind of getting a little bit outside of business here, but
no, it's very relevant because if the body's in better shape, the business is going to perform better. You're performing at peak performance levels.
Well, actually, I think this is a good allegory now that I think about it. Whenever you run, you're literally creating thousands of tiny microfractures in the bone tissue of your leg bones. Okay, and then they heal, and you get a little stronger. And I think there is actually a really good, allegory between that and
okay.
I'm sorry, something made me laugh there.
But yeah, it's hard to keep up with all that.
Between that and the way that you form a business in the first couple of years.
Oh, I love that.
If you think about it, you make a lot of mistakes, trial and error.
Right.
You're not making the kind of money you want to begin with, and the courage that it takes to continue to be able to do it.
Yes.
Is kind of a day-to-day thing. So.
It is. You got to keep renewing every day. Tony Robbins, 30 years later, still primes himself every day when he gets up.
Right.
You just never get to the point to where it's automatic. It helps, but not totally.
And despite the fact that affirmations feel kind of funny when you first start doing them, I find that it's become an invaluable part of my morning now. So.
Oh yeah, it's huge. And want to actually pick up on that when we get back. Right now, as our listeners, though, you know the routine. Piece of paper, pen, you hear the name, you write down the phone number, you write down the website, and you do what? You call them when you need them. So make sure you keep listening to Profiles of Success with your host, Chuck Bader. We're going to be right back.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
Is your business on Facebook? Are you frustrated with how your website performs? Do you have a focused and measurable marketing plan? Are you struggling in executing your marketing plan? Well, tune in every Tuesday to the Mad Marketing Show and learn from the people who are actually making it happen. The internet is a convoluted and busy place. Learn how to cut through the noise with the Mad Marketing Show. New episodes air every Tuesday on Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Find us on Facebook at Mad Crane Marketing and post your digital marketing questions. You can find us on SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and iTunes by searching for Success Radio USA or The Mad Marketing Show. You can also visit us on the web at madcrane.com to learn more.
Listening to Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Success Radio USA is committed to helping you achieve a positive daily approach to your success each and every day. Thank you for listening.
Success Radio USA.
Welcome back to Profiles of Success with your air drummer, your bass guitar, Eric Owens. I'm your host, Chuck Bader. Our co-host is in Florida, Jerry Evans, beating the Gators, catching the sun, having a great time. But we're glad that you're here. We want to thank you for being here on Profiles of Success. Now, you can find us every day by going to Facebook, which everybody does, but you go into that search bar and type in Success Radio USA. Look for the logo with the American flag, and that's us. Like that show and access that page, and you have access to our shows. Or you bypass that and you go right to our website, which is successradio.us. Now, we'd like to invite you to register with us there for free, and you'll get a free ebook download as our gift to you. And now that you are finally one of those people who take success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only $3.99 for the entire month and have total access 24/7 on demand of our show archives. And we're back with Eric right now. So Eric goes through this situation to where want to be a musician, want to get a job, go back and forth, but then you finally pick a field. How did you pick your profession right now? What led you into that?
Well, I think I had mentioned earlier, but maybe not clearly. I've been accused of that. But there was some deliberation on my part after I had mentioned that my father had passed away.
Right.
When just before I turned 50, and he was always disappointed that I hadn't gone back to college, and it was something I was starting to think about. And it was coming at an age when I was turning 50. I told you my birth year earlier, so
right.
It was 2009, and I had made a decision to go back to school, and there was also some government assistance to that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I had made the decision based on would I prefer to work in a hospital or with numbers, and the idea of working with money and with numbers and calculations and financial theory just kind of resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into that, and I found myself thinking that, hey, maybe I should get a job doing this.
Right.
It would kind of help with paying the tuition as I moved. I transferred after receiving my associates to another school to finish my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And great program. I'll go ahead and drop them a plug.
Sure, absolutely.
It's Colorado State University's global campus.
Perfect.
And they were picking up the accounting core of the year that I started taking it, which was 2010.
Good timing.
So, yeah, right?
Yeah, for you.
So that was kind of awesome, really.
Yes.
So, in the interim between the one school and the other, I actually did take a couple of classes down in Pueblo.
Okay.
So I did have the college campus experience. And I had a real character for a tax professor. Said some things I'll never forget. The big one, I think I'm always going to remember him for, is that there's no reason to bother cluttering your mind with facts that you can look up.
Exactly, Einstein. Yes.
Yes, right. Yep. And I'd heard it before, but that's the way he put it and the timing of it and everything.
Right.
It's basically a guiding principle in my tax preparation business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to be a human being, and I find that a lot of I would say, let me put it this way. I was going to say something about my contemporaries, but my customers have mentioned that they've had less than perfect experiences with some of my competition in the past.
Interesting.
And I think it's just because, it's kind of difficult to find somebody that really has any level of compassion for the situation beyond the numbers and the actual completing the task.
Right.
I find myself actually caring about the person because I am that person. I have been for a very long time.
Right.
I mean, I entered the workforce back in 1980 or before. Actually, I flipped burgers in the mid 70s. Actually.
Okay.
So yeah, and I've been known about taxes for quite some time, and it's as purposely convoluted as healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah, the two things that I think the industry make difficult on purpose. It's one of those things that if you have some understanding and some caring for the people that don't understand it as well as you, you can actually create a lot of value for them.
Exactly.
And
yes.
it's just by being a human being.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of a lost element in today's businesses. Everything's online and, buy the stuff online. But you're right. And I'm an insurance agent. I do the exact same thing. You've got to put the person first and you learn about them. And then you'll figure out what you need to do for them.
Yeah, that's got to be big in your industry too, for sure. Yeah. And then, I got into the running and, about the same time I found that, and I was working for a Fortune 500 insurance services in a large accounting center.
Right.
So I was just one guy basically handling a district, and I was doing that through a temp agency. And I did several interviews with them, and never got a permanent position. Searching for that word.
Right.
So after 18 months, of course, the temporary contract lapses. I'm not sure what happened in the next 6 months, but one of my coworkers there had convinced my manager to call me and get me back in there.
Nice.
And I worked there for another 10 months and applied for 4 more permanent positions. Never got any of those either. And I actually went to work for Jackson Hewitt.
Okay.
So I ran their 8th Street Walmart franchise for an entire tax season.
Okay.
And, I knew that was something that I was interested in doing anyway, but after having done that and being under the gun, and having also being responsible for the other preparers,
yes,
I was kind of the impetus for me to work in taxes. But at the same time, the running was a big part of my life, and I kind of got interested in doing something they call affiliate marketing, which is basically you open up a website and you put yourself in between people interested in digital products and people selling them.
Right.
And that kind of entailed paying some people to learn how to do it, and then paying other people for email marketing software and this and that and everything.
Yeah.
A long story short, I didn't succeed in it the way that I had anticipated.
But you gave it a shot, though. You got the experience.
I did, and actually I think I finally did shut the website down because I improved the new one.
Okay.
And it's kind of an overhead thing. But up until just about a month ago, my blog was still out there. So I might actually get some help turning that into a book someday. But
exactly, yes.
Yeah. But where I was going with that was I got in a band right after New Year's. I hadn't been playing for a couple of years, and I was missing it pretty badly, and that would be beginning of 2017.
Okay.
So guitarist and myself started a power trio. We basically became partners, and I found that the bars were starting to want W-9 forms.
Okay.
So I was like, rather than give them my own social, let's do a partnership, and then we'll have our own EIN number.
Exactly, yeah.
There's some other things to that that's a little more regrettable that I had done it, but
oh, okay.
But one thing is that partner left 3 months later, and I ended up with 3 more actually.
Okay.
So that band is still together, and we're doing a wedding in August, and just having a good time.
Yeah.
2 of my guys are they're real estate brokers.
Okay.
And then I got another fellow working down at the Broadmoor in audio visual.
Okay.
And they're just brilliant people. And, the 2 guys are successful entrepreneurs in their own right, running a successful brokerages that you'd probably recognize the name of if I mentioned them. And,
right, yeah, feel free.
But I found myself doing the books and being the manager. And
yes,
so like doing all this stuff, and I thought, well, why am I not just being a bookkeeper?
Right.
And it turns out that QuickBooks Online is spending a lot of money updating that, and not as much on the QuickBooks desktop program that everybody's really familiar with.
Right.
And you've probably seen it. You go into a franchise electronics store, and they have it in the box, and it says QuickBooks, and you pay a couple $100 for it, and you upload it onto your hard drive. That's kind of going away, and the online version is becoming hugely prevalent.
Oh, yeah. And
for accountants, they offer free training in exchange for and discounts for your potential clients, because they recognize the fact that by doing so, you'll probably bring them paying customers. And it works. I've done it.
Right.
So I'm basically an advanced pro advisor in QuickBooks Online because of that. And I'm very grateful to them for not charging me to do that.
Right.
And also I have a free account, which I do my own books on. So
can't win. I mean, you can't miss.
And that was the genesis of Owings Tax and Accounting. And I have basically, the overheads are good in this kind of business if you don't spend a lot of money up front.
Right.
And just nose of the grindstone. I've actually been making some amount of money in black ink since December. So
there you go. It's got to feel good.
Kind of that stick-to-itiveness and just refuse to lose. I think I heard in a rap song once.
I love that.
I refuse to lose. Yeah. And I just, defeat is not an option.
Right. But to kind of encapsulate what you talked about, again, I'm seeing similarities between you and Tony Robbins, the bullying thing, but also Jean-Paul DeJurio, who is now Paul Mitchell, one of the products that you know him by.
Oh, sure.
Has done the same thing. Every time he had an opportunity to have a job, he did it as best as possible, and that helped him move on to other things, which is what you've done. You did great in taxes with the franchise or the national one you talked about. Then you go on to Jackson Hewitt, you do well there. It just builds upon everything.
Right. Yeah, never regret any of your experiences because they have basically poured your foundation for you. I
don't know if you heard him, but there's a guy named Brian Tracy, one of my favorite authors to listen to.
Sure.
And one thing he talks about, he says, and this is where people get so distracted, is that you pursue a goal like being in a band. It doesn't really happen, and they think, oh, it's such a waste of time. But he points out, this is huge. It's not what you get by pursuing a goal. It's what you become by pursuing a goal, which is what you help to get where you're at.
Right.
That's huge.
And, success should be, certainly it's a goal, but it can also be ancillary with the creating of service and value for others.
Exactly.
You're
benefiting everything you do. Like running, every run builds your muscles, builds your bones,
Right.
Every opportunity, every experience that you've done, every college course you've taken builds upon that.
Yes.
But the important thing is, like you said, refuse to lose, don't quit, because when you stop growing, you start dying. So you got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think it was Buster Rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just, it's those little things that kind of stick in your head like that.
Yes, and they're huge.
And then you see some others. There's actually a couple on my website. Whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve, I think is W. Clement Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, my Henry Ford quote. You've probably heard it.
But yeah.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right.
Exactly. And that's a great point. And we're going to wrap up with that. But that is huge. One thing you've talked about is that people think it's more the things that you do. A lot of it is your thinking and your belief systems. And Tony Robbins is big on the belief systems. Who do you believe your identity is?
Yes.
What do you believe you can move forward with,
Absolutely.
And that's huge. And you've proved that through your experience,
Right. And it just keeps getting better.
Right. And now you're moving on from being in the accounting field to now authoring a book, which is going to be a huge step for you as well.
Yes, that's it's a dream, but you can make dreams reality, and there's a lot of success stories of people that started out not knowing what their future was going to hold.
Exactly.
I keep thinking of that thing about Michael Jordan got kicked off his high school basketball team because he wasn't good enough.
Right.
And he said, well, the heck with this, and he just started practicing hard.
Mm-hmm.
And many consider him the best basketball player in history now.
Right. But he refused to lose.
He refused to lose. That's
he
right.
Didn't quit. He just worked harder.
You just got to, be like the honey badger.
Exactly, yes.
Fearless.
Yeah, that's part of the big part of it as well, yes.
It's okay to feel fear. Learn that in the Army.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Fear is not the, courage is not the absence of fear. It's the conquering of fear.
Well said.
Right.
Because it's an emotion. You're going to feel it. You just got to keep moving forward with it, though.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and I forget who it was. There was an author that said she wrote a book. The book title is called "Feel the Fear, but Do It Anyway." I forgot the author, but it's a great book you want to read. So
I've heard that too.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So we want to encourage you. Do like Eric did. Keep looking for new avenues. Keep looking for new opportunities. Do well in every circumstance you have. Run. Stay in good physical shape. That's a big part of it. Work on the nutrition. That's a big part of it. But we want to encourage you to find the information on the websites, the SCORE offices, the SBDC, your public library, all these resources out there for you. But you have to make that decision that every morning when you wake up, you're going to pursue that, and you do something every single day to keep moving forward.
Listening to Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA with Chuck Bader and Jerry Evans, brought to you in part by the 365 Grand Club, Colorado Springs' only elite urban downtown club. So start enjoying the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today at 365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. God bless you all, and see you next week on Profiles of Success.